What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cma Podcast. How is everybody doing? It is fight day, Saturday, the 5th of March, 2022. Guys, time is flying. I remember December 2019, and we're here now, and it's coming up on two and a bit years. I'm like, yeah, where'd the time go? Hey, guess what slipped off the face of the planet there from the news? That's kind of weird, huh? No one's mentioning that C word. I don't mean cunt. Excuse me. Yeah, so we're back. Here we are this weekend, fight weekend, UFC 272. When you say it like that, it's like so many UFCs, but there's many more fight nights and stuff. Again, first one I ever saw live, UFC 93 in Dublin. That was pretty crazy. But here we are, 272 this weekend. Excellent. Main event, Colby Covington. I said that wrong. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. Very, very, very excited to see that fight. What are your predictions? Please let me know in the comments. Either do it now, pause the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the comments, or wait till the end of the video and do your comment then. But please do drop a comment. It helps me, it helps the algorithm, and I'll respond to you. I respond to everybody. Yeah, what about the news this week? Have you been following the Cain Velasquez story? Former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez in custody right now for attempted murder. When you read those headlines, the natural reaction to the media is, if you believe that the headline, the triggering clickbait headline is the truth, or is just at face value, naturally you're going to be CTE, brain trauma, many years of getting punched in the head, he's a scumbag, attempted murder, lock him up forever. But anyone with half a brain who decides to do a little bit of, we call it research, reading, investigation, and not just believing immediate headlines that you see, which is a huge problem these days, is that Cain is a goddamn hero and tried to do something that every person says they will do if the circumstance presented itself accordingly in their lives. I'm not going to go into the details because it makes me blood fucking red mad, but I'll give general overview of what's being released. It's not clear if it's Cain's daughter or his niece or a family member, but there's this very young child in his family, and it had come out that stuff had been happening to her it's very difficult for me to say this without getting emotional. Holy shit. Stuff was happening to her at daycare, and it's every father's fucking worst nightmare, and I can't fucking talk all right, I'm back. It's very difficult, but basically, essentially what happened is he found out shit was going on. He decided to get his gun. This guy, it's not very clear, but this guy is out on bond until his trial date. And Cain found out where he lived, went to his house, brought his gun, tried to shoot him. I assume tried to kill him. But the piece of shit's father got in the way, and I think the father is the one that got the bullet. Father's going to make a full recovery, but the piece of shit is still out on the streets. But Cain is in a cell somewhere, and that's that story. Again, every father's worst nightmare, every parent's worst nightmare, for Christ's sake. But that's what happened, and he is a fucking hero in our opinion. The MMA community has got behind him. I see some free Cain Velasquez t-shirts going around. I'm not sure if people are just capitalizing on the circumstance, or those proceeds will go to help him with his legal fund, like his legal expenses, things like that. But god damn it, man, that is an insane story. A hero. I think I do the same, but I can't say that. Let's move the fuck on from that story. UFC this weekend. Burke Green makes a great point on his show on the Burt Locker. The pay-per-views in America, they're designed specifically to have like if you're a UFC fan and you train in a gym, it's $70 for a pay-per-view. So you'd get like 10 friends to come over and pitch in, and you get your pay-per-views taken care of. That wouldn't cost more than $5 each. Everyone chips in for the pizza. Everyone brings their own beer. You end up having a great night. But in Europe, and specifically in Europe, because in Australia you're well into the early late morning, early afternoon, so you're not affected. But in Europe, like Central Europe and Western Europe, like back in Ireland, the pay-per-view wouldn't start until 3 o'clock in the morning. Here it's 4 in Switzerland. But the main event here in Switzerland starts at like 6:30, maybe 6:45 in the morning. With 2 kids, you're not going to really stay in bed that late anyway. So breakfast time is main event time. So you go boodly boop, 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 and voila, we're live. So that's kind of what we've been doing here in Europe, allegedly, when it comes to watching fights. Now, you can go to YouTube an hour after the fight, I guess, and watch very poor edited quality footage. But as far as watching it live, like back in the day, there was parties and drunkenness. And even if you didn't go out, like I'd have a Red Bull at like midnight and just stay up and watch the whole fight night. But in Europe, it's very, very difficult. Australia, you wake up, you go for your morning run. You can shower, shave, have your breakfast, turn on the TV, and it's like 11 o'clock. Let's go. Did I get my timelines wrong there? I think it's afternoon, late afternoon, early afternoon. I don't know. Is the earth flat? Are we being lied to? I don't know. But yeah, so this weekend, I'm definitely going to watch the fights, 100%. So it depends on what time I wake up. Are you going to watch the fights? How do you watch fights? Do you watch them live? Do you live stream them? Do you buy the pay-per-view? Do you purchase on UFC.com or Fight Pass? Or do you just go to any website that may or may not have those fights a few hours after they actually happen? I remember back in the day, I would watch them live and put very generic Facebook statuses like holy shit or many F words later. I'm not going to censor myself. That F word was fuck. But people would get upset that I spoiled it. Like, for example, let's pick a fight from back in the day. Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. First one that comes into my mind. If you're the type of person that doesn't watch it live and you go and check Facebook before you watch it live, chances are you're going to find the result or someone with a comment. So don't be stupid. Stay off social media before you watch the fight. Watch the fight, then go to social media. Standard common sense behavior, guys. Anyway, moving on. So I'm going to break down UFC 272, the main event, Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. I'll break it down in just a second, guys, but right now I want to give a word to our sponsor. All right, guys, once again, back with a word from our sponsors. We are sponsored by Lola Tong, a new business here in Lucerne. It is an online business, so it doesn't matter where you are all over the world. Go check out their website. Go to lolatong.com and check out their options for fashion and clothing and, general accessories. They're expanding by the minute. They are doing some wonderful things here in Lucerne. Let me tell you guys, I'm podcasting right now, but I got to go clean my apartment in about an hour. I want to look stylish for the podcast. I also want to be comfortable when I clean my apartment. I may need to go to the shop later and get some milk or bread or, newspapers that I try and learn my German on. I want to look good. I think I look fucking fantastic today. And I think you could do too. Let me tell you something. You go to Lola Tong and you check out their baggy hoodies with the beautiful branding on the side. If I'm in town and I want to get a quick coffee or get a quick drink, let me tell you something, guys. I'm standing at the bar or sitting in a cafe and I'm just flicking through my phone. I put up these guns. Out comes Lola Tong, and there's people on the other side of the goddamn cafe or the bar just go, oh, he's wearing Lola Tong. That's the kind of problems I face these days. I'm walking into a place. I just want to be left alone, listen to some music. I don't want to be harassed. I'm married. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wear Lola Tong. Could you please I'm not a piece of meat. You know what I mean? I have to pop up this wedding ring 4-5 times a day. It is a burden, but it is a burden that I'm happy to live with, guys. And you could have that burden too. Go to lolatong.com. Pick your items of clothing. They are so comfortable. Right now, I feel so good. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than when I want to just be warm and cozy around the apartment and I pop up that big hood. My ears are burning in seconds. So pick out your items of clothing. They do baggy tracksuits. They do baggy hoodies, hats, accessories. You name it, it's there. Check them out. Go purchase something. But at checkout, use the promo code CMA. You will get a 10% discount. That, once again, is promo code CMA at checkout. You will get 10% discount. That tells them that we sent you. That makes us happy. That makes them happy. And trust me, guys, when you wear your big baggy hoodie and you're out in town and people are looking at you and just want to jump on you randomly, which is today's society. I don't know if that's morally correct, but whatever. Down for whatever, you know what I mean? Hashtag married. Go to lolatong.com. Use the promo code at checkout, CMA, for a 10% discount. Lola Tong, strong, honest, and compassionate. All right, guys, we're back. UFC this weekend, 272. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal. How do you think this fight's going to go? Let me tell you how I think it's going to go. I'm going to give general predictions on this fight, okay? And I know that that's not good, but saying things in the fight game with such confidence, like, I don't know. There's no foregone conclusion when it comes to fighting. Like, I did not believe or I did not think for 1 second that Amanda Nunes would lose versus Juliana Pena a few weeks or a couple of months ago now. When it comes to like general fights, like Alistair Overeem versus Brock Lesnar, there's no way Brock was going to win that fight. You know, it's a class striker versus a wrestler from the WWE who's had some success, but not against elite strikers. And this fight is no different. So here's my prediction on the fight. Now, tell me if I'm completely full of shit in the comments, or wait until after the fight, watch this one back, and just tell me how much of a dumbass I am for what I'm saying. But you've got two fighters. Colby Covington, there's no doubt about it that his wrestling is far superior to Jorge's. That is known in the MMA community. It's evident in fights. They've said it themselves from being training partners. Everyone is saying that Jorge has the advantage striking. I don't know if I agree with that point. I popped the shit out of that pee, huh? I don't necessarily think I agree with that point. If you look at the last number of fights, Colby has had more success striking than he has at wrestling. Both are coming off losses. Looking at it on paper, you've got to factor in the emotional aspect of this fight. I love the psychology of fighting. I love seeing guys in press conferences. Excuse me. You see Joe Rogan's face during face-offs at the weigh-ins when he gets right in there and looks at both fighters. He said it himself. He takes in the emotion of what both guys look like when they're facing their foe. You know, when they're right up against it. Like, tomorrow night, I'm going against you, and you are between me and more money for my family and my kids, whatever. Looking at this one, the emotional aspect is huge. It's bigger than any wrestling advantage or any striking advantage. You've seen The Ultimate Fighter with TJ Dillashaw against Cody Garbrandt. They were former teammates, and they drilled up this huge emotional baggage of selling the pay-per-view based on TJ Dillashaw leaving the team in Colorado to go train other places, like with Dwayne Ludwig or whatever. This is no exception. These two guys are former friends, former roommates, former training partners, former best friends, former everything positive. There's like in MMA years and years ago, it was a very, very small and tight circle. These guys were in that circle, their circle together. And what's being drilled now is the emotional aspect of back in the day and backstabbing and leaving and owing money and talking trash and talking about families and talking about ex-wives. It's affecting Jorge Masvidal so bad. You saw in the press conference on, was it Thursday night, that Colby is winning the mental game. And Jorge acknowledged it in an interview with Mike Bisping that he doesn't do well emotionally. He's talking about his hands being here, and when he's emotional, he wants to knock the guy out. But when he's not emotional, the technique comes from your chin. Colby is pushing Jorge's buttons. Colby's demeanor is so funny. I'm a fan of Colby Covington. I was a fan of Jorge Masvidal, but both are fake. I like the character of Colby more. He comes out with these really cheap looking tacky suits and the bling bling that looks like you could get it at like a dollar shop. He's pushing the whole Trump card. He's pushing the emotional aspect of everything. He's talking about everyone's family and kids and ex-wives and former training partners. So they're really pushing the emotional aspect. It's affecting Jorge. That's why I think that Colby Covington gets this fight done. And that's my fight prediction. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to predict that Colby is going to not wrestle, that Jorge is going to be too committed to trying to take Colby's head off. I think that Colby is going to get the better of him in striking, and I think Colby is either going to get a TKO or a 5-round decision. I'm not going to say he's going to knock anybody out. I think it's going to be a TKO for Colby Covington or a 5-round decision for Colby Covington. I keep saying Colby Covington, but it's Colby Covington. That's bad. But what do you think? Am I completely full of shit? Do you think that it's just going to be a whitewash for Jorge? It's possible, but I just think the mental aspect and the emotional aspect is going to work against Jorge, and Colby is going to get the nod on this one. But let's see. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the fight. I'll see it live. I'll break it down after the fact. But I would be very interested to see if you guys are on the same wavelength as me with this one. Anyone listening, I'm trying to build the Instagram more than any other platform. Do me a favor, add our gym page on Instagram. It's at City Martial Arts. I want to grow that one. We are still in talks with some spaces around Lucerne. It is very, very, very difficult because the places that are fitted for the gyms are all taken with storage spaces for the big construction companies who obviously their worlds are affected too. But everywhere where I look that would be so suited for a gym has either been taken for something else or is just not, they're not open to, they would rather get the money from a storage aspect of the construction industry rather than a gym right now. So there are places in the center of town that are perfect that the landlords just don't want to have the, I guess, the noise of a gym based on the just the noise aspect of it all. So I'm going to keep looking, I'm going to keep finding, I'm going to keep searching. But once we get the gym space and the contract signed, the boxing bags and the boxing ring and everything will go into the space and we will open again and fucking business as normal. You know what I mean? If you guys don't watch the YouTube channel, and ironically you're watching it now, but check out Spotify and iTunes. We're also available there, so you can listen to me while you're training. I could be your motivator, and I won't ask you for personal trainer fees or anything like that. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? How are your feelings? Talk to me about your feelings. Not going to listen. Do me a favor, like, share and subscribe. If you see this on Facebook, go back to my Facebook and just hit the share button. I don't care if there's no interactions, just hit the share button. You do me a solid. Go to lolatong.com, use the promo code CMA at checkout to get a 10% discount. They are our loyal sponsors. Another sponsor coming in next week. Very exciting times indeed. Other than that, guys, I wish you guys a very pleasant rest of the weekend and a good start to next week. Any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to shut the fuck up. Guys, thank you very much for listening. Have a good time wherever you are or whatever you're doing.